If it hurts, you ain't breaks, no get you know it up, put on more steam. Protect our kickers, our quarterback, our lead, our ball game. All obstacles, block, cut, sides, blue games after this win in. Press you again, we're here for the first man. Carry like you never 6 minutes.
It's, here it's Tennessee, so, we're going to get the best guys here. That's just every year. Every time we're out there, it's competition. Nobody has a spot. Nobody's comfortable. We're all working to get better.
I don't believe there are good people that pull for Georgia. I think they're all terrible, ugly, disgusting human beings. I think it's just that, no, there are no good Georgia fans, Eric. There are none.
I mean, Peyton Manning said it best year one when we got here. He looked at Coach Heupel and he goes, man, if the Colts lose, I'm all right. If the Broncos lose, I'm good. He goes, but if the Vols lose on Saturday, it hurts my soul. And there's a lot of other people. There's 103,000 people every Saturday who will say the same thing, and there's probably 1 million more watching at home. So it's important here, and those guys feel that.
Do you remember when we fell in love? I remember, don't worry. Do you remember? I remember how it all began. How could I ever forget? It's the first time. Do you remember? I can feel it. I can feel it. I can feel it coming in the air now. I can feel it. I can feel it, I can feel it, it's coming in the air now. Oh, we fell in love, you remember the time. How could I ever forget? You remember the time. Oh, we fell in love, you remember the time. How could I ever forget? Coming in the air now.
Welcome to the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley. How you guys doing tonight? Long time no see. I feel like it's been about 24 hours since we did this. But, man, this video was sent to me by a listener, and it took me a while to get to it because I pumped out a couple of videos today. I saw it, and I was like, oh, God, this guy, this clown, this dude's putting out content, and I go listen to it, and I was like, this is pretty good. We need to talk about it. So I put up the bat signal. We're going to have some friends join us in just a minute, but I'm gonna talk to you guys. I'm gonna talk to my closest friends here in the chat, and let me tell you guys, the chat's already going nuts. You guys are already going crazy. Some people get mad. Some people say everything is clickbait. It's clickbait, Boogie. Why do you do this to us? Is it clickbait or is it a conversation? Is it some good information that we need to, as a fan base, get together, talk about, and discuss? That's what we do on this channel, and that's what we're going to do tonight. We're going to talk about this NCAA investigation. We're going to talk about the court hearing that's coming up next week. What is going to happen at that court hearing? And then there's also some good points, and I get it. I understand this man is as polarizing as they come. You either love him or you hate him, but Tony Basilio made some good points. He went on the George Plaster show, 20 minutes talking about this NCAA investigation. We're going to go through it all, and we're going to unpack it. But let's see who's hanging out in the chat. We got number one, Neg of all is here. Says, hello, all. Roger Gerald is in the house dropping custom Talkin VAWLS emojis. Let's just screw it. Let's just do it. There's nothing to do it but to do it. Let's grow I'm on a membership campaign, boys. We get to the off season and the memberships just tank. And I'm looking at my light bill. I'm looking at my electric bill. I'm looking at the car payments, the mortgage, and I don't think I can do it. I don't think I can do it anymore. We need to get a membership drive going. So I'm going to make a note right here. 20 memberships. If we can get 20 new members, that's $1 a month. $1 a month. We get 20 new memberships. I'm going to give away some free merchandise. Let's do it. Who else we got? David Speaks is in the house. What is up, David? Good to see you in the chat, my man. Elijah Allen is here. Drops a $5 super chat, an entry fee, if you will, a door fee to get into the Boom Boom Room. Elijah Allen for $5 says, for the NCAA to find a hobby. Yeah, they need to find a hobby. And that's going to be part of this conversation tonight. At what point do we tell the NCAA to kick rocks and do whatever we want to do? Ardor Wolf for $1. Thank you for the super chat. Tip in the tip jar. Appreciate that, Ardor Wolf. Good to see you in the chat, my man. Crystal Majestic is in the chat. Drops a $10 super chat. That is not cheap. We appreciate the tip. Says Sunshine and I have exciting news to share with everyone Saturday. Can't wait to see you all. Awesome. Looking forward to it. Yeah, tailgate. We're going to be tailgating at the orange and white game around 10:30, 11 a.m., somewhere around in there. G10 parking garage. Come hang out. Myself, the X Factor, JP will be in the house. BVD is going to be there. Dauber's going to be in the house. Going to be a good time. We're going to hang out. We're going to shoot the bull, have a couple of drinks, and then go in and watch the orange and white game together. And look, it's general admission. You can sit wherever you want to sit. So if you guys want to sit with us, come sit with us. It'll be a blast. We'll have a good time. Brad Burnett for $5 says door fee. GBO, thank you for the super chat. Brad, easy for me to say. Appreciate that, buddy. Appreciate the tip in the old tip jar. PJ Hahn for 10. Thank you for the super chat. Y'all being very generous. We're just getting going. Y'all are being very generous. Light bill. That light bill's almost paid. Brandon, 99 for $100. $100 super chat. He said, hold on a second. Boogie said he needs money. I'm gonna go ahead and pay the light bill right now. That ain't cheap, and we got to play the clip.
Money isn't everything. It's the only thing. And everyone has a price for the $1 Million Man.
$100 ain't cheap. $100 is a lot of money, and I'm very appreciative. I'm appreciative of every super chat, whether it's $1, $2, $5. You guys giving me your hard-earned money so that I can come on here and provide content for a living. That is always appreciated. So thank you, Brandon. Very generous super chat. That $100, that is not cheap. So let's get some friends on here. We're going to have a good time tonight. This is going to be a fun show. Smash the thumbs up, share it out, let people know that we are live so they can come on. Let's get some friends on here. First and foremost, this man, my wingman, the ultimate
Guess who's
wingman.
back again.
Dude, it's been what? Like, it's been so long. I missed you. I miss you, X. I missed you.
It's been a while, my friend. It's been a while. What's good with you?
I'm glad we can get back together and do this. You know, maybe you're going to get sick of me. You spent an hour with me last night. You're going to spend another hour, 90 minutes with me tonight. And then you're going to have to sit in the car with me for an hour and a half on Saturday. You may get sick of me.
Nah, never that. That's why I'm a true wingman. So I'm here for it.
The ultimate wingman. When I saw this Tony Basilio video, it was sent to me, Angry Titan, I believe, is who sent. You know, people's their YouTube handle versus their Twitter handle versus their real name. I get lost. I don't know who's what and where. Oh wow. StreamYard. This is just excitement for you YouTube nerds. StreamYard finally added a super chat tab, so I don't have to star anything. All the super chats are collected nicely in one nice little box. Thank you. Appreciate that, StreamYard. Anyway, side note. What was I saying? Oh, as soon as I saw the video from Tony Basilio, I was like, we got to put up the bat signal, see who wants to come on. I sent it to everybody. I was like, I don't care how many people we get on here. We're going to have a good time. And two people said, I'm game. Dauber's busy. JP's got some stuff going on. Two people answered the call. That's the X Factor. And this guy, Big Ball Daddy, what's up, buddy?
What's up, buddy? How you like the old avatar there? I figured I'd share that with you since you're Georgia's #1 fan on here.
I like it, and what it really makes me want to do is this. I don't believe there are good people that pull for Georgia. I think they're all terrible, ugly, disgusting human beings. I think it's just that no, there are no good Georgia fans, Eric. There are none. No good Georgia fans, BBD.
50 Shades of Red on his face that day. What's going on, Boogie? What's going on, X Factor? Good to see you guys.
Not much, BBD. How you doing, my guy?
Doing well, sir. Doing well.
I feel like it's been forever since I've seen you too, Big Ball.
God, I know, man. What's it been? 48 hours?
Something like that. The days all
Some
blend
greasy
together.
food.
Yeah. How'd that cheeseburger do you? Wasn't too good, was it?
Mhm.
It wasn't too bad either, actually.
I thought I had a good time. I enjoyed it. Always good to meet a fellow Tennessee YouTuber and hang out and have a good time. That was a lot of fun. Let me jam through a couple more super chats here. Austin Hannah Weather for $20. Nothing to say, just a $20 tip in the tip jar. We appreciate that, Austin. Mike Jones for 10. That is not cheap. Just another tip, just an entry fee. Here you go, Boogie. We're gonna have a fun show tonight, guys. I know I'm having a good time joking with my buddies here and talking to you guys in the chat. Brandon 99 for another $100. Like that's another $100. He says, and for the ultimate wingman, Xavier, you're not going to claim
That's
that.
mine.
You're not
That's
going to claim
mine.
that, are you?
Hey, that's mine. That's mine all day, every day. I'll
You know
take
what?
it.
We should put a jar on the table at the tailgate that just says in-person super chats and see whose jar fills up faster. Because they're going to be giving X money, they're going to be giving BVD money, JP money, and my jar just going to sit empty all night. But hey, we got to play the clip. I'll play the clip every single time a 50 spot or higher comes in. So we'll listen to the clip again.
Money isn't everything. It's the only thing. And everyone has a price for the $1 Million Man.
Appreciate that, Brandon. $200, man. $200 right out of the gate. That is not cheap. We appreciate it. Thank you for the support, my man. Let's see. Where else are we? We got a new member here. Brian Timby becomes a member of the channel. Appreciate that. 19 away. 19 more members. We'll give away a free t-shirt. Appreciate the support. Dead Kennedy for 5. Bulldogs are inbred mutts, much like Georgia fans. I neither agree or disagree, but that's a great super chat. Appreciate that, Dead Kennedy. Let me update the ticker here. We're 19 memberships away from a free t-shirt. All right, let's jump into it. Let's talk about it. Everybody's asking, is this clickbait? Is Tennessee really getting a postseason ban? What is going on? We're going to take you all the way through it, start to finish. We're going to go through the whole freaking thing and talk about it, but I want to start with this article from Knox News Sentinel. Came out the 11th, a couple of days ago. What to expect when Tennessee Vols and Jeremy Pruitt clash at the NCAA infractions hearing. So let's just read through this real quick and get an idea of what we're talking about tonight. It says Tennessee and Jeremy Pruitt each will get a chance to make their case in front of the NCAA Committee on Infractions next week in Cincinnati through high-stakes 3-day hearing. That will determine the sanctions for each party after years-long NCAA investigation into rules violations by Pruitt and his coaching staff. It involves allegations of 18 NCAA Level 1 violations. Pruitt, the former Vols coach, fired for cause in January of 2021, faces the possibility of a show cause penalty, while the NCAA has not publicly tipped its hand as to what penalties Tennessee might face. Let's start right there as we go through this article. BVD, how much of this is Pruitt throwing his toys? Is that why we are where we are? Because, we've talked it to death, through this whole thing. Tennessee has done their due diligence. Tennessee invited the NCAA in and said, you can listen to our interviews. You get full access to this investigation. We're terminating all the coaches. We're terminating the recruiting staff. We're doing everything that we can. The players that were involved are gone. And now here we are. And, when Alabama's looking for a defensive coordinator, Jeremy Pruitt's name comes up. Is he throwing his toys? Because he missed out on a lot of money because he was fired with cause.
He did. And you got to know the dude's pissed off. I mean, Fulmer got paid. He didn't get paid. His name's being dragged through the mud by his own fault. It's nobody's fault but his own. Some of the things, and you guys will hear this later in the interview, some of the things he did to enable these violations were just off the charts stupid. Using the babysitter. I mean, who does that? So, yeah, he's definitely throwing his toys. He's throwing them, and then he's trying to pick them up and take them home, pick his ball up and go home. But we'll see if it pans out for him or not. He's going to get his, I think. It'll just be a matter of whether or not the NCAA decides that we've done enough, and obviously by we, I mean the university, if they've done enough, or if they're going to make their one last stand, as it were, and show everybody, hey, we're the bosses around here. We're going to kick Tennessee's ass and use them as an example on the way out the door.
Yeah, that's what I'm curious to see too. It goes on to say here the Vols are accused of failure to monitor. What's the word? What is the phrasing that I'm looking for that Tennessee didn't get hit with? Where I see, because that says they're accused of failure to monitor, but I thought that the way the NCAA viewed it was that Tennessee did their due diligence, right? That they were monitoring their coaches, and that's why everything appeared to be smooth sailing. Tennessee wasn't going to get hit with a postseason ban because they did everything right. Hey, give up a few scholarships, we'll move ahead. And now, and again, not to bury the lead, but the Tony Basilio interview that we're going to listen to here in just a second, he talks about Fulmer and is Pruitt going to throw Fulmer under the bus? And that X factor is what scares me, because if Pruitt throws Fulmer under the bus and he has any type of evidence that Fulmer was involved or knew about it, Tennessee's going to get hammered. And I don't care who in the chat says that it's clickbait or who in the chat says that that's not happening. If Fulmer knows anything, Tennessee's getting hammered. It's coming. It's coming.
Yeah, for sure, man. Because like I said, because like how you always talk about Boog, and even you, BBD, you guys, you grew up in the Fulmer era, and that was basically when you hear, Tennessee Volunteers, and you go back and rethink of the glory days of our dynasties and our time when we were at the top. You obviously think of Coach Fulmer, and then especially when it comes along with Alabama. And it's pretty funny too, because I remember you and me, Boog, like I said, we had the conversation too that, when Jeremy Pruitt was hired, Coach Fulmer, he was kind of a little off with the hire, you know what I'm saying? Because, he dominated, Alabama all those years ago, that he didn't really expect for the front office to bring in a guy from Alabama. So, but yeah, if Fulmer does know anything about this, then, and honestly, if I was him, I hope that he doesn't know anything about it. But yeah, I just hope he just, keeps his mouth shut and just goes into the courtroom, and we'll see how this plays out.
Is that X Factor? He needs to come to bat for Tennessee. All us
Yes.
older guys have heard our entire lives from Philip Fulmer is how much he loves this university. He went to school here, he played here, he got most of his coaching here. But
Mhm.
what does he do? Stabs Johnny in the back. And I know there's
Yep.
a lot of people that stand on one side or the other of that long running debate. My point here is this is his chance to come to bat for the University of Tennessee, and he can do that one of two ways. He can do that by refusing to take part in this, because he can do that. He's paid. He don't have to do shit. He can just say, screw you guys, I'm going home, and not
Mhm.
take part in it. Or he can step up to the plate and try as maybe one last pat on the back to the university, say thank you for all you've done for me. I'm going to do this for you, and do whatever it is he can do to help Tennessee get through and over this, because he was
That's
there, he was part of it.
Mhm.
You
Mhm.
bring up an interesting point though, that he can just say, "Screw you, I'm out." Like I don't have to
Mm-hmm.
be there. That's such an interesting point, because Derek Ansley is kind of taking the same stance. He's like, "I'm in the NFL. I don't care. I'm not coaching college football anymore. Here's a big middle finger to the NCAA. I'm not showing up." And like when all this courtroom stuff came up, Derek Ansley's name was being mentioned with Pruitt, and now it's like he's not going. He doesn't care
He
because
don't care.
yeah,
Yeah.
he's
No.
out. He's out. So let's go through the rest of this thing here. So again, court case coming up next week. Pruitt will argue that the rules violations were carried out by subordinates without his knowledge. Yeah, because your babysitter is giving people money without your knowledge. She just took it on her own accord. I'm going to give all this
Yeah.
money to, like, come on. If that
And
doesn't work,
in McDonald's bags.
hey, it was Chick-fil-A. It was the Lord's chicken. It was the Lord's chicken. Says he may pivot to a scorched earth approach. If Pruitt is going down to stiff penalty, he may try to inflict as much damage as possible towards Tennessee, because Tennessee fired Pruitt for cause, did not pay his $12.6 million buyout he otherwise would have been owed. He is currently out of coaching. In other words, there's little incentive for Pruitt to go quietly into the night. Whether Pruitt can inflict further damage on Tennessee during this hearing is debatable. Says on the Tennessee front, expect the Vols to try to show that Pruitt and his culpable aides went to great lengths. They should say. It should say. Let me read that again. I'm gonna change the wording here a little bit. On the Tennessee front, expect the Vols to try to show that Pruitt and his crew of goons and incapable aides went to great lengths to conceal their misconduct from their superiors and the compliance department. The Vols will hope the NCAA gives due credit to their self-imposed penalties for the 2021 season when they instituted a 12 scholarship reduction and recruiting restrictions. And again, I'm not bearing the lead. There's really good stuff in this Tony Basilio interview that are great talking points. So whether you agree with Tony Basilio or you disagree, I know he's polarizing. BVD, I listened to your video you dropped earlier, and I know you love him. A lot of people hate him. A lot of people can't stand him. I know he's polarizing.
It's both ways, Boogie. It's both ways with me.
Okay, he's very drama based, and that's what this stream is. This stream is drama, but it's something that I think deserves to be talked about. That's why we're here, and that's why we're doing it. But what I really liked about the interview is there are some great points that we can break down and discuss when we get to it in regards to scholarship reductions and things like that. Says the fact that Tennessee has not reached a front-end negotiated resolution with the NCAA on sanctions suggests that the association is considering penalties on top of what the Vols imposed 2 years ago. That's why. And look, I get it. Everybody, hit the wrong button. Everybody's saying clickbait. This is clickbait. It's all lies. It's not happening. Boogie's making stuff up. Boogie's trying to get clicks and make money. I am trying to get clicks and make money. But read that last paragraph again. The fact that Tennessee, and again, this is not even the main event. This is the Knox News Sentinel. The fact that Tennessee has not reached a front-end negotiated resolution with the NCAA on sanctions suggests that the association is considering penalties on top of what the Vols imposed 2 years ago. So what it sounds to me like is the NCAA, BVD, doesn't think like it's enough. It's not enough. Tennessee's not suffered enough. We got to give them something more.
Well, I didn't listen to all of the Basilio interview, but I got through it enough to where I heard that early on in all of this, I think it was the university offered a 1-year bowl ban, and I started to say the DA, the athletic director said, no, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. And it makes you wonder now, if the NCAA is not sitting back thinking, well, you had your chance, so now we're going to put it on you. I still go back to the whole fact of, I think, and I believe this, I think that this is going to be the NCAA taking their one last shot, because we all know that the NCAA is a body that's on its way out. They're not going to be here very much longer if you believe everything that you read and hear. And evidently they believe it, they know it. So, from their end of it, even though it really has no gain to those guys to drop the hammer on Tennessee, in their eyes, maybe they're thinking we're going to do this. I don't know, Boogie. The whole thing has just thrown a monkey wrench into my day. And,
You're welcome.
I was just chugging right along, having a good day, watching a new show I'm into, and I get a text from Boogie, and I'm like, damn it, man. But it's okay. We got the orange and white game. We're all hanging out this weekend. We're all still Vols fans. At the end of the day, that's all that matters. We love our boys.
I agree with you, BBD, man, because, when Boogie texts me the same thing, man, and then it's like you go back and you think, saying last season, look, we were basically 11-2, man, like with the bowl win. So kind of with this going on right now it's kind of sitting in the back of our minds of like, okay, let's first say if we have another successful season like that, what if we go over the 9 wins that everybody's predicting? How is that going to affect us in the long run? So, but yeah, I agree with you. That kind of threw a wrench in my thinking process as well, that I was like, man, because I just go back and I just think, man, last season was so successful. And now that this is coming up now, you're just like, well, I don't know what's to become. So,
and it's not just bowl games, it's postseason. So let's say Tennessee goes out and beats Georgia because it's at home. It's in Neyland Stadium. Let's say we get that environment rocking, and Tennessee shocks the world and beats Georgia, lose to Alabama, and sneak your way into the SEC championship game. You're banned from that game.
Yep.
You don't get to participate. We've not been to the SEC championship game since when? I mean, it's been like 20 years, and you're not going to be able to do that? You're going to penalize the kids on this football team that have busted their tails and put their work in and had nothing to do with this nonsense? That's the thing, is it drags out so freaking long. Like, these kids did nothing wrong. These coaches did nothing wrong. and you're going to penalize them for the sins of freaking Cornbread and his Alabama buffoon staff. Like, and I know it's a conspiracy theory. And I'm not really one to buy into it and believe it. I think Jeremy Pruitt was trying to, take his career to the next level. But good Lord have mercy, does it not seem like sabotage? You send Jeremy Pruitt here and then the whole freaking thing sinks. But sometimes you got to hit rock bottom to rebound and get back to the top. And I feel like we're trending in the right direction. Look, we got 220 people watching live right now. Appreciate you guys hanging out with us. Do me a favor, smash the thumbs up, share out the link. We're about to jump into the main event. We're 30 minutes into this thing, and we're about to kick it off with the main event. So share this thing out. Let somebody know we're live. Again, we're doing a membership drive. Speaking of, Dead Kennedy becomes a member of the channel. Appreciate that. Thank you for the support. We are now 18 members away. We get 18 more new members. We'll give away some free merchandise. So hit the join button down below. It's $1. It is
$1, folks. Even my broke ass can join in. I'm a member of the
if
Boogie family.
BBD's
So
a
come
member,
on, man.
everybody needs to be a member. But we got 20,000 subscribers. Let's get 25% of you guys. Let's get 25%. Let's get 5,000 members, and I can sleep at night. Joe Brown for 2. Thank you for super chat. Can it be football season already? I can't wait, man. So much fun content planned. BVD and Boogie. What sounds better? BVD and Boogie in the morning or Boogie and BVD in the morning? I don't know which ones. I kind of like BVD and Boogie in the morning. I think that kind of sounds better.
It's your channel, so lead with the name. I don't care, man. I'm just happy to be a part of it. I enjoy creating content with you guys.
I'm excited, man. We're going to do a morning show every single Monday morning. Me and BBD going live. BBD's cooking up some ideas. He's got an idea that he's kicking around, and I'm trying to push him off the ledge. Go do it because it's gold. It's something he used to do. We'll see what happens, but I want you guys to make sure you sub to BBD. Go sub to Big Vol Daddy because he's getting back in the game. His health is getting back in the right direction, and he is going to freaking bring you guys some fun content this year. So we're going to build this thing together. BVD's going to hang out with me. I'm going to hang out with him, and you guys go make sure you sub up Big Vol Daddy. Yeah, but I'm ready for football season. Thank you for the super chat, Joe. Ricky D for 5. Nothing to say, just a tip in the tip jar. Appreciate that. Ricky D, Angry Titan. What are you guys doing?
Yes, sir. I say that's 105, Boog.
No.
That's 105. Look, we do math over here. Look, we add these up.
X Factor is keeping tabs.
Up.
He's keeping tabs. He's like, I know how much you owe me. And Saturday, when I'm riding down in the Jeep with you, I'll have my hand out saying, Boogie, where's my money? Thank you, Angry Titan, for the super. Angry Titan, I believe, is the one that sent me this video. I think. Again, I get it so confused. YouTube versus Twitter versus real life names. Angry Titan with another 5, and he says, for the BVD appearance.
Wow. That's
so now
shocking.
I've lost $10.
That's shocking because Angry Titan is a Titans fan, and it's I appreciate that, Angry Titan. It's well known that I dislike the Titans. In fact, I had somebody leave a comment on my video a couple of weeks ago that was a Titans fan. I don't think it was Angry Titan. It was somebody else that said, "You like the Cardinals? I'm unsubbing." And the dude did and hasn't been back yet.
Baby Dave, I say I'm also a Titans fan too.
I got no problem with Titans fans. I just, I didn't like Bud Adams. That's the reason I don't like the Titans. Plus, I've always been a Cardinals fan, and I don't change my colors.
I got you. Respect.
It would have been easy for a lot of us Tennessee fans to jump off the bandwagon these last 15 years and started pulling for Georgia or Alabama, but I would rather shoot myself right between the eyes than do that.
Oh, about puke.
So, I know, right?
Don't ever say that again. Oh, about got sick. All right, we got Michael Young becomes a member of the channel. Appreciate that. And also Rebecca. Wait, why is it blocking out half of the name? What is the name? Is that the name? Rebecca and Co. Hounds 2. Thank you for becoming a member. I think this is a Coach J person. I think Rebecca kind of rolled in with Coach J. I believe. I may be wrong, but thank you, Rebecca, for joining the channel. Appreciate that. That's 2 more down. We're 16 away. 16 new memberships away. We get there, we'll give away some free merchandise for you guys. You can wear one of these Beat Bama. This is the PG-13 shirt, PG-13 version of the Buck Fama shirt. Wayne for 5. Thank you, Wayne. Boom, boom, room fee. I thought you already paid it, Wayne. I thought you already paid it, but I'll take it. Appreciate the super chat, Wayne. Man of the people. We appreciate you, buddy. John Hill for 10. Boom, boom room needs to happen at the NCAA office. Give them something to talk about. Maybe we should just load up in the back of a pickup truck, blare some AC/DC, and drive on up there to the court hearing and make some noise. I don't know. Appreciate the super chats. Brother Noah 247 becomes a member of the channel. That's one closer. We are 15 members away from giving away some free merch. Appreciate you guys. Look, $1 a month. $1 a month is all we ask. What time will you be at G10 parking garage? It depends on who's asking. Are you coming to fight or are you coming to hang out?
Squidtard's one of my boys.
We will be there. I said 11. We're going to try to get there a little bit earlier so we can secure a spot. So 11, 10:30, 10. We're going to get down there a little bit earlier, but 10:30, 11 or so. Big BVD's giving you the real answer. We'll be there at 10 o'clock is when we're really going to be there. So you guys come hang out. It's going to be a good time, man. I cannot wait. I cannot wait.
Same here. It's going to be a good time. Going to be a good time.
Check out this comment from Chris Simpson. Been watching you, Boogie, for years, but BVD for a long time. Wouldn't have made it through these crazy years without my boy BVD. 49 and finally super excited and pumped for my Vols. See, BVD, your people follow you around, brother. You act like they don't.
I remember when I was 49. I remember those days.
What was that, 27 years ago?
Ish. 27 surgeries ago, maybe.
Oh, my gosh. Dylan for 5. Make that 110 X Factor.
Cash in my hand.
You're going to have to bring a bag, X Factor.
It's ridiculous. And
I say I have to go bring my mason jar.
I blame JP for this. He's the one that started this nonsense of people get to dedicate their super chats to somebody. It's complete nonsense. All right, we're going to get into the main event here. You guys have been patient enough. We've had some fun. We've kind of explained what we're going to get into. Jabbin Talks becomes a member of the channel. Appreciate that. Emoji access. That's $1 a month. So we appreciate that support. Thank you for joining the channel. We are 14 members away from giving away some free merchandise. All right, so what this is Tony Basilio going on the George Plaster show, and that's what they talked about. They talked about the NCAA investigation, what is going on with this court hearing with Tennessee, Jeremy Pruitt, and the NCAA. So we're gonna take a listen, and we're gonna pause. This is fair use. This is not copyright. You're not stealing material. This is what's called fair use. Anybody that knows how to YouTube would learn this. Some people don't know how, but people around YouTube kind of figure things out. They start following people that have a certain amount of subscribers and copying them. So I just wait till certain other content creators are doing things like this. But it's fair use, man. It's fair use. We'll pause. We'll provide commentary. Again, put it. Let's do this before we get this thing rolling. Tony Basilio covers Tennessee football. If you love him, put a 1 in the chat. If you hate him, put a 2 in the chat. Wayne says, Tony says, whatever is why I like him. The yellow shirt guy, he's okay, I guess. Yeah, Tony Basilio is he's polarizing, man. All right, let's take a listen, and we're going to pause. X Factor, BVD, if something comes up and you want me to pause, just tell me to pause. We'll pause it, and we'll talk about it and get into it. All right, here we go.
All right, let's do it.
Based on the people I've talked to, and I've spent, I'm not going to exaggerate with you, a couple and a half hours on the phone talking to various people. Tennessee is concerned that it's, first of all, it turned contentious with the NCAA after Tennessee invited them in, showed them the books, trusted them in the process. It turned contentious. And is Tennessee going to be the latest example of don't let the fox in the hen house? Or is cooperating at the end of the day going to pay off in the long run? Danny White and Tennessee, and last week, as I was telling you on the air briefly, we had the gentleman on from ESPN who broke the story. And then we had Blake Topmeyer on, who is an SEC writer as well of repute. And both guys on consecutive days said that their belief was, and it's their job to really know this stuff, to get granular. Their belief is that Tennessee is surprised to be in the spot. Danny White believed that the remedies that Tennessee had originally ascribe to, scholarship cuts, etc., were going to be enough to win the day. The NCAA has since come back and told Tennessee, no, your remedies are not going to be enough. Now, question becomes, George, what's the sticking point?
So again, with what Tony just said there, like if what Tennessee had done, Xavier, like the scholarship reductions and firing everybody, firing the recruiting staff, if that was enough, I don't think we would be here. I think it would be over, right? We would already have the resolution.
Right. I mean, I agree with you. I don't see why, you know what I'm saying? What's the point? It's like what you said earlier. Look, we got a brand new coach, brand new scholarship of kids coming in. Like I said, why are you punishing our brand new coach and these kids that have nothing, that had anything to do about it? So, yeah, I mean, Danny White, he cleaned out house as well. Like I said, the whole university just cleaned out house. And like I said, we're trying to rebuild from the bottom up. So, I don't see why they would just put this investigation onto our new coach, our new players that are coming into the university. It's just, that's like you said, Boog, it's not fair. It's really not.
Makes no sense to us fans either, because I think for most of us, and obviously I can only speak for myself, but most of the Tennessee fans that I've talked to about this, it's sort of kind of become an out of sight, out of mind thing. We've just assumed all these months that we were going to get a slap on the wrist, and nobody never really put any real thought into it until now. And now that this is on the radar, and I trust and believe in Tony because he's been around forever. Yeah, he's one of them guys from up north that likes the Phillies and the Eagles, but he's a Tennessee guy through and through, and he's fairly dependable. He's not a Jimmy Himes, I don't think. Jimmy Himes, pretty much, if he said it, you pretty much knew it was fact. Been some issues in the past with Tony that wasn't always necessarily the case, but I believe everything he's saying here, and I believe he has the contacts to back it up. So it's a concern. We should all definitely be on high alert now. It's my opinion, just one fan's opinion.
It's crazy because somebody in the chat just said, how many players that were on that Pruitt team? Like, Pruitt was fired after the 2020 season? That was his last year, right? 21.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. 2020 was his last year. Half the kids are already gone. Like, they don't even have eligibility. They're either in the NFL or working at a car lot or whatever they chose to do with their life. Like, they're not. Is
there even a single starter on that team from the Pruitt era? I mean,
this past season there would have been a few.
Yeah, I'm talking about now going into
2023. The kids that would be punished. But I don't even know that a decision is going to come down, because you got to realize they're going to go to court, and then it's going to take months before the decision from the court hearing comes out. But again, hearing what Tony Basilio said there, let's listen to.
Yeah, keep going, because he says something
is
very
the sticking
important.
Point an inordinate number of scholarships that becomes punitive, or is the sticking point that the NCAA wants a bowl ban? This is where it gets interesting, because we've been led to believe, meaning we, all of us that are observers of this NCAA deal, that we're under a new charter. And as part of the new charter, the new dispensation that we're in, supposedly we don't punish current players for the sins of what went on in the past. I.e., we don't do postseason banishments anymore. My belief right now, George, is that a postseason ban in football for next year, which would mean the SEC championship game and a bowl game, are very much on the table right now.
Wow.
Based on the people I've talked to, based on the people at Tennessee and their reaction. And Danny White is leaking visceral stuff to the press, i.e., if the NCAA follows through and if they hit us with a bowl ban, we're going to countersue them.
That
Yep.
That right there is why I think this is legit. That statement right there is why I said we got to go live and talk about this, because Tony Basilio, a dude that's been doing this, how long has he been doing it, BBD? How many years?
Well, I mean, I moved back to Tennessee in '95, and he was covering them then. So
30 years. 30
long
years.
time.
So when you
Mhm.
cover Tennessee as a media person, not as some psychopath sitting in your arcade with a bunch of video games and toys behind you, but as a media person, you build contacts and relationships. And he just said it, the people I've talked to. And then he said the people inside of Tennessee that he's talked to. So he truly believes this. It's not just we're just throwing this out there for the sake of throwing it out there. Like a bowl ban is legitimately on the table. Like, I think it is a legitimate thing, BVD.
Yeah, it's not to say it's a etched in stone gonna happen thing. And you stopped him short of the sentence that I was waiting for everybody to
Wait,
hear.
let me finish
Tennessee's getting it. Go ahead, yeah.
We're not going to take it lying down.
Is that what you wanted?
That and I believe he said they're
We've
gonna
lawyered
up, yeah.
and we're going to go that route. And George, I just think, I think that's noteworthy. I think that's newsworthy. I think that's highly interesting. And you got Tennessee and the NCAA playing chicken here with this hearing coming up.
And let me play this clip, and then BBD, you can chime in. This is from when Austin Price from VolQuest was on the show a few weeks ago, and we talked a little bit about the NCAA investigation, and this is what he had to say. And this was kind of like, when he said it, I'm like, this is never going to happen. And now here we are a couple of weeks later, and I'm like, this may be the road that we're going down. Let's take a listen to this.
That's correct. You can't get up there and when they sent out the stuff, the notice of allegations and all that stuff, and praise Tennessee for, the unprecedented access and all this stuff, and then hit them where it hurts. Like, if you do that, like, nobody's going to do anything, and nobody has done anything. Tennessee's, done something that no one else does, which is why if they tried to do that, I think that Donnie Plowman, Randy Boyd, and Danny White would probably see them in federal court, because I think that Tennessee's done everything that they could do to try to do this the right way. And for whatever reason, they've not been able to come to a resolution on it. And again, I think it behooves both sides, Tennessee, to probably give a little bit more, than they've given to this point, because, I know what the NCAA is thinking. You won 11 in year 2, and more than anything, all the scholarships Tennessee, gave to the NCAA, they were never going to be able to fill those in the summer of 2021 anyway. So it was easy to go, hey, we'll give you 12 scholarships this first year, because you were already at like 70.
Right.
So you added a few pieces and gave them 12 or whatever it was. And, so I mean, like, I just think ultimately, that's kind of why I've always felt that way, is it doesn't help either side. It doesn't help the NCAA, and it sure doesn't help Tennessee. So it's why both parties need to have cooler heads and prevail and come to some type of resolution on this deal and move forward.
This is a funny comment, Wayne. I didn't say that. Wayne, that was from the AP stream. That's when you said screw the NCAA, and it just happened to get caught in the clip. BVD, what do you think there? Tennessee's going to lawyer up, and they're not going to lay down.
I kind of agree with AP that maybe they can give a little bit more, but how much is a little bit more? How much is enough? Right now we're in the midst of the highest trajectory this football program has been on in decades. Mm-hmm. And giving away a few more scholarships may not seem like a lot, but when you've got more 5-stars and 4-stars coming to look at this university than in the last 20 years, that could hurt. But it might be what they have to do, to prevent this, or just, like Basilio said, just lawyer up and tie this shit up in court forever. But at some point, no matter how long you tie it up in court, at some point you have to come to a resolution. And I think the longer you tie it up in court could hurt you in the long run. I don't know. These are situations and closed rooms for people way above our pay grade to work out. We're just here to talk about it and give our opinion on it. And what do you guys think? What more could the university give short of a bowl ban?
This is well, first of all, I got to address this. If we lose recruits, Boogie, you're directly responsible. Shut up, John. Go find somewhere else to go hang out. Get a life, loser. Like, it's a conversation, buddy. This is what we do. We're fans. We're fans. I'm not responsible for recruiting. I'm not responsible for the University of Tennessee. I'm not responsible for coaching. I'm responsible for hanging out with my buddies talking about Tennessee football. And if you don't like it, kick rocks and get a life, loser. Move on. Move on, bro. I don't care.
If one recruit sees a Boogie or an X Factor or a BBD tweet, comment, or video and decides not to come to Tennessee because of that, they got issues beyond coming to Tennessee or not.
Why do you think Boogie's in, I don't know, Nathan Laycock's commitment, Shamar Arnew's commitment? Why do you think Boogie's in all these kids' commitment videos? Because I represent the voice of Tennessee fans. So kick rocks, loser, get a life. I'm going to continue to hang out with my buddies and talk about Tennessee football and relevant news. X Factor, I cut you off. I'm sorry, buddy, but sometimes you got to call. Sometimes you got to call an asshole out every now and then.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's got to, weave them out, take out the trash. That's what you got to do.
Now, Boogie, be careful. You don't want people calling you soft.
Hey,
you don't want that.
What'd you say in the chat last night, BBD?
I think my exact words, and I'm not quoting myself verbatim, but I'll just say this. Boogie's a big-ass dude. He ain't scared. That's the first time I've met Boogie face-to-face, and he is a large human being. And it's easy to call somebody names on the internet, real easy, because we got millions of them that do it, on a daily basis. But I promise you ain't nobody calling Boogie soft to his face.
Maybe they'll come try to fight me at the orange and white game. Could get
there
interesting.
You go
Could get interesting. We'll see what happens.
Well, like I say, your wingman's right there. As I say, if it comes down to those problems.
I've been beat up by some of the toughest dudes on the planet. I'm not worried about John in the chat. All right, we got completely derailed. Derailed.
All right, but yeah. So ask me. I said, what was you gonna ask me, buddy? Go ahead.
I don't even remember. BVD asked you something. I can't remember what he said because this moron in the chat derailed us. What'd you say, BVD? What you thought?
I have no idea. I got derailed by you.
I remember. So he was basically saying, so what was kind of like our opinion, like how they're going to tie this all up in court.
Oh, yeah. How much more can we give?
Yeah.
Than what they've already given.
Yeah. So my answer to that is just very simple. I trust Danny White, man. Danny White, as we all praise him, he's a businessman. He's a very smart businessman. I feel like him and the rest of the upper staff are going to go in there. They're going to handle this the right way, which I'm pretty sure they will. And all this is going to get resolved. Depending on what that decision may be, it might cost us down the long run. But also, too, I just wanted to bring up is that since if we're possibly going to get a bowl ban, what does that say when we get into the playoffs coming pretty very soon? Because remember how we had the conversation about bowl games are not that important, this and that. So really we could be looking at it's like, okay, if you're going to ban us from a bowl game, but can still allow us to enter the playoffs. Honestly, me personally, I'm fine with sitting out a bowl game depending on what our record looks like. If that doesn't jeopardize us from entering into the playoff season, or sneaking into the playoff season, what's one game going to really hurt us of our chances of going to the playoffs or even trying to wake our way to the national championship game?
Well, how bad does it look? How bad does it look if Tennessee is set to go to the SEC championship game and they're banned from it? How bad does that look? That's going to make the NCAA look bad, and that's going to completely derail the college football playoff, right?
Yeah. Exactly. So the NCAA, they need to look at that or think ahead very, very closely because if you do that to us, that means that if you do it to any other program, then it's going to make them look bad. So the NCAA, I feel like they need to really think on how they want to handle this.
Let me hit a couple of super chats real quick. We're going to get back to the Tony Basilio interview. Eddie Lim becomes a member of the channel. Appreciate that, Eddie. 13 memberships away. 13 new members, and we'll give away some free merch. Appreciate the support, Eddie. Travis Melvin for $20. That is not cheap. Since Saturday is going to be fun, GBO, maybe even more. There may be a fist fight. I don't know what's going to happen. Although John Miller is no longer a part of the channel, he's been banned, but he said he's going to show up and show me what Texas is all about. What is wrong with people, man? Like, we're just on here having a good time talking Tennessee football. We're talking about relevant news, and people want to fist fight. It's like, what's wrong with you? I'm 41 years old. Do you think I really want to fist fight somebody at the orange and white game?
Right.
Now, you want to swing on me? Like, whatever. We'll see what happens. But like, I'm not showing up to fight. I'm showing up to hang out with my buddies. That's what I'm showing up to do. But thank you, Travis, for the $20. Adrian Wells for 10. Nothing to say, just a tip in the old tip jar, Adrian. I appreciate that. Thank you for the support, buddy. Thank you for that super chat. Squid Tart says somebody's always got to be mad about something. I know, man. It's the world of the internet, and I ignore so many people in the chat that do that stuff. And sometimes you just, I don't know, something sends you off the deep end, and you fire off at somebody. All right, let's jump back into this Tony Basilio interview. We got about 15 minutes left. I told you guys, I told you it's going to be a long one. You're like, I will go live for an hour. And I'm like, no, it's going to be like 90 minutes, 2 hours. We're going to be here all night long.
I'm down.
Eric B. Jones wants me to
I'm
fist
here.
fight people. No, I'm not going to fist fight anybody. I'm not going to fist fight anybody. I'm going to hang out with my buddies. Like, get a life. Get a life.
I'll take my leg off and hit this John guy right over the head for you, Boogie.
Oh, that'd be awesome. That'd be awesome.
He don't want no part of the titanium. I promise you that.
That would be so much fun. I would much rather see that than me just choking some dude out. You know, I put Dauber to sleep one time in a hotel room. We were on a golf trip, and Dauber decided he wanted to grapple. And, you know, I talk about jiu-jitsu on here. People like Boogie's talking about wrestling in pajamas again. Here we go. And Dauber decided he wanted to grapple, and I put him in a chokehold. And my other buddy's like, Boogie, he's snoring. And Dauber's laying on the floor going,
I'm going to say this, Boogie, and it may come back to bite me in the ass, but I'm going to say it because this is not my channel. He deserved it because Dauber's put me to sleep so many freaking times. He deserved it. I love you, Dauber. I had to go there, bro. I had to.
Oh, Lord have mercy. Hey, don't worry.
I can't wait to see Dauber Saturday. I'm just messing with you.
He'll never hear it because he never listens to the channel unless he's on it listening to himself.
Well, that sucks.
Oh, man. All right, let's move forward. This show has been completely derailed, but it's everything I want in a Talkin Ball stream. I hope all 260 people watching live enjoy it. I hope you enjoy it. More comments. Sean Clark, what kind of intro is that? I don't know, bro. You're 52 minutes behind. It's the best intro ever. I think people love it. I think people like the mashup. They like the mashup. Kelly Goodwin says shots fired. Somebody clip that. Somebody clip that comment from BVD and send it to Dauber. Be hilarious.
I'll own it.
The chat's having fun. Should I fire Dauber? Let's put a poll out. Should we fire Dauber before we get into the poll? I'm just kidding. Let's listen to more from Tony Basilio. All right, here we go. Let's get this thing back on track.
No.
And there's a red herring. I want to, because I know you touch a lot of folks. I just want to remind people, the red herring here is that Tennessee's day in court is going to coincide with that of Jeremy Pruitt and also with Derek Ansley. If you follow the Jeremy Pruitt, if you follow, it's really verbal, a kid here in the park, a youngster, a baby. If you follow if you get off in the weeds on that other deal, you're going to kind of lose the lead here. The lead is Tennessee and the NCAA. The lead is what's going to be the punishment. The lead is that it's gotten to this point. The lead is that Tennessee probably miscalculated, although hindsight's always 20/20 to be fair to Tennessee. I do know internally in this deal that Tennessee's brass encouraged Danny White when he first got there and he first hired his coach. Hey, let's take a bowl ban. Let's take a bowl ban as part of our punishment here. And Danny White steadfastly decided, no way. We're not doing that. We are not going to do that. Miscalculation, George? I don't know. Time's going to tell. Because I don't think obviously you do not want a bowl ban with your program gathering steam the way that it has here of recent.
Tony, let me ask you this. Is there any feeling amongst Tennessee people athletic department, whatever, that the NCAA is so angry at its lot in life where they have virtually been, taken powerless, had their, knees cut out from them, that this one shot they've got to really inflict some pain, that they're going above and beyond in kind of a vengeance deal.
George, I've asked that, and the word I get is, so what? So what if they are? I mean, we're in the spot. I've asked it to several people, and that's the answer that comes back is maybe. The other side of this is, and I just wonder this aloud. You can tell me if I'm crazy. Is Tennessee in the spot right now if they'd have gone 5-7 twice, and it looked like they still had a moribund football program? In other words, they looked punished, because essentially what Tennessee did is they found a bright young coach who won despite the specter of what's been hovering around their program. And last year, when the rankings were announced, was the number one ranked team in the country when the first playoff poll was released. That was never the way, George, this thing was supposed to go. Never the.
That was something that, again, came up in my conversation with AP was you go 11-2 in year 2, and all of a sudden, BVD, the NCAA is going, oh, well, you didn't get punished enough. We got to do more because you're thriving. And it's like, that should be irrelevant. Like, you still had the scholarship reductions. You still had, like, so many times when I get excited about the linebacker depth that Tennessee has right now with Arian Carter, Jalen Smith, Jeremiah Thielander, and then even the sophomores, Elijah Herring and Caleb Perry, those are guys that are going to be groomed to take over. I'm excited about the linebacker room, but you go back to when Josh Heupel first took over and we got long snappers taking reps in practice at linebacker because they were depleted. They were depleted, but it doesn't matter how many games you won. You were depleted when Josh Heupel took over. So I think it's irrelevant, man. It is irrelevant.
It is irrelevant, but it's a fact. I think if Tennessee goes, did he say 5-7? Maybe I just.
Yeah, he said 5-7.
Yeah, he said
if they had gone 5-7 back-to-back
7-5.
No, what he was saying is if Tennessee went 5-7 in year 1, 5-7 in year 2, then maybe the NCAA is like, all right, these guys are suffering. We'll leave them
exactly.
Alone. But you go win 7 games and then you go win 11 games. You're not suffering. So we got to punish you more.
I think even if we go 7-5 2 years in a row, they're not looking at it as hard. Tennessee is, whether people want to admit it outside of our fan base or not, they're a bright shining star on the college football landscape right now. We're God, I hate using the word, but yeah, we're kind of back. And if we can keep this momentum going, it's going to make a lot of people unhappy. And there's a lot, I think Wayne said it in the comments. It makes you wonder if there's somebody in the NCAA that has an axe to grind with Tennessee. He said it differently, but yeah, it does make you wonder that, because don't it always seem like somebody's always hating on Tennessee? From our perspective, it may not be that way, but for years, ESPN hates us. There's still a large faction of our fan base that thinks ESPN hates Tennessee. And maybe Chris Fowler does. I don't know. But we got nothing but love from ESPN last year. And as long as Josh Heupel continues to do the things that he's been doing since he set foot on campus, they're going to continue to love on us, because that's what they do. They love on the sexy new animal.
That they do. And I think the reason we as fans were like, oh, ESPN hates us, because we sucked.
Yeah.
So anything they could do to take a shot, they
needed a scapegoat.
It was going to get a click. And then now that Tennessee's successful, it's going to get a click. It's why you see J.D. Piquel at On3. Every other video he puts out is about Tennessee football. Why? Because it gets clicks, because Tennessee is the hot topic right now, because we're on the come up. And it's like, College Game Day, man. For how long? It's like you tune into College Game Day and it's like there's no coverage of Tennessee because they suck. And then last year it's like, man, we're freaking on there every single week. It's great. We're back.
And even Paul, like I said, look, even our good friend Paul Feinbaum, like I said, look, even he was giving us praise. I mean, the man even picked us to beat Alabama, which obviously we did. I mean, that's saying something, you know.
How much of that was Paul being Paul, though? I've
Probably.
always wondered about that. But
Yeah, exactly,
Dude, his
exactly.
call-in show is a train wreck. It is
it
an
always has
absolute
been.
train.
That's
Yeah,
why
Hmm.
people love it.
it is a not. It's like holy cow, like what a disaster. All right, we got 270 people watching live, guys. Smash the thumbs up, share the link out. Let's grow the chat. See if we can get more people in here threatening to fist fight me. It'd be great if we could do that. So maybe 17 people show up trying to fight me on Saturday. I have no idea. We'll see what happens, but share it out anyway. Let people know we're live so they can come in, check out this live stream. What do you guys think so far? Are we full of crap? Is this clickbait? Or are you a little bit concerned that Tennessee could be facing some type of postseason ban? Let's hear more from Tony Basilio.
The way it was supposed to go.
So, Tony, I'm just cynical enough to believe that the NCAA does operate in this kind of a vindictive manner because Tennessee's not the first school that has ever felt like they tried to cooperate and then got their you-know-what handed to them. So what is the theory up there as to what Jeremy Pruitt is going to say in the hearings?
I don't know, because I've talked to people and I say, is Pruitt going to implicate Philip Fulmer? He can really make a mess.
This is where it gets interesting.
The charge that Tennessee's facing directly points back to Fulmer, and it's not the lack of institutional control, it's failure to monitor, which is a real, like, when you talk to these people that follow this stuff, at George, I'm way more immersed in this and I know way more about it than I want to, or thought that we were going to have to learn at this point. Because to be honest with you, I thought Tennessee was going to get through this thing relatively unscathed. But the NCAA, you just never know when you're dealing with those folks.
Lack of institutional control and failure to monitor, to me, sounds like different wording for the same thing.
Me too. That's where I got confused at the start of the stream, because lack of institutional control, they were deemed innocent, but failure to monitor now seems to be on the table, and that confuses me too, BBD.
What's the difference? If you have a lack of institutional control, clearly you have failed to monitor, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think it's the same thing, and it's
okay. I just
weird.
wondered if I was the only one thinking that.
That's what threw me off at the beginning of the stream, because I don't understand that either. X, any comments on that?
Well, it's just that the whole failed to monitor thing is that, well, here's just my thing about this. Okay. Back then, when everybody was paying players under the table, and you can name any college, say Georgia, Bama,
everybody,
Florida, that's what I'm saying. So why is it that, all those schools were kind of getting away with it, but then yet we're caught red-handed thanks to Cornbread? I mean, let's just be obvious. I mean, he was just stupid for how he handled things. But you find it funny how nobody else is saying anything about these other programs that were getting paid on the table, which, of course, I know they didn't get caught. But I just find that part very interesting.
But do you think that, we say nobody else got caught? How much of this is we wanted to fire Pruitt with cause and get out of the buyout? And it's almost like we're willing to take a chance and maybe bury ourselves to fire Pruitt and not freaking pay another ridiculous buyout. And that's why we're in this situation in the first place.
True. That's very true. And honestly, Boog, I didn't really think of it like that. Yeah, that's interesting.
In the grand scheme of things, $12 million is not that much money for a university.
But when you're paying Derek Dooley and then Butch Jones.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
Like, that's the thing. There was this narrative of all we do is pay coaches after firing them. And it's like, if you fire another coach and you're going to pay, what was it, $12 million, everybody would have been complaining again. And then it's like, you go right into the NIL era and it's like, all right, we're paying freaking $12 million to Jeremy Pruitt when we need to be raising funds for recruiting, basically.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's jump back in. We'll hear a little bit more.
So the failure to monitor charge ties back to the AD. I was talking to some people close to Pruitt, and I said, "Hey, is Pruitt gonna lay it down on Fulmer? Fulmer got his buyout. Pruitt didn't. Fulmer got his skybox. Pruitt gets a black his name forever in the book of liars. And George, the thing that I come back to, and the thing that's said to me is that Pruitt appreciates the fact that Fulmer gave him an opportunity, but Pruitt is a wild card because here's a guy that's probably facing a lengthy show cause, and he's the one that teeth are going to be really shown to. And if you think about it, if the NCAA is going to give Tennessee a bunch of scholarship reductions and they're going to give him a bowl ban, which I think all that's on the table, what are they going to do to Pruitt? Are they going to give him a Donnie Tyndall-like tenure type show cause? I mean, I don't know. They're highly unpredictable. But to your point, this is one of their real last chances to flex their muscles. Tennessee is akin to a marijuana dealer that got caught on July the 20th with a bunch of dope in their truck, and it was going to become legal to sell dope on August the 1st.
Yeah.
That's what's occurred here.
That's what's so ridiculous is we're talking about $60,000. That's what we're talking about. Meanwhile, Nico Iamaleava is getting paid $8 million.
So that's what Pruitt gave away, basically.
That's what he got caught giving. He
Right,
gave away way more than 60,000.
Oh, surely.
That's what he got caught giving away.
And oh, sorry, BVD, go ahead.
Real quick, my answer to the whole what happens to Jeremy Pruitt thing that Basilio brought up, who gives a shit? This is all brought on because of him. I personally could give two turds less what happens to Jeremy Pruitt after out of all of this.
Yeah.
I
agree with you, BBD, because it's funny because it was months back because I read articles of saying even to some Alabama fans that they were like, should we rehire Jeremy Pruitt to be a defensive coordinator coach? And I'm just like, look, if he got all this stuff on him from what he did to us, you don't think Nick Saban's going to be stupid enough to bring him back into Alabama's program with all this going on, which, of course, I don't really care either way. But that's why I was just like, what happens to Pruitt? Well, obviously, there's been talks about him maybe going back to Alabama to being the defensive coach. But if he's got all this stuff going on, Nick Saban ain't going to deal with that. He's like, nope. You ain't bringing all this here. He said, that's your own fault.
Well, and he's facing a ban. I don't think they would have let it go through. I think if Nick Saban wanted to hire Jeremy Pruitt, I don't think he could have done it until all of this was wrapped up. But man, I got some good points I want to get into, but I'm trying not to bury the lead. I listened to the whole interview and I'm trying to be patient and let it play out versus when I want to jump in and there's something I want to say so bad that I can't see straight. But let's hear more from Tony Basilio before I get there. We got 260 people watching live. Appreciate you guys hanging out with us. Smash the thumbs up, share out the link, all that good stuff. We would appreciate it. We're on a membership drive. We are 13 members away. We need 13 new members. That's $1 a month. There's 258 of you watching live right now. If every single one of you were a member of the channel, guess what? That pays Boogie's power bill, and I would greatly appreciate it. But if not, it's cool. Hang out. There's no pressure. If you like the content, smash the thumbs up. That's quick, free, and easy. Share the link. Quick, free, easy, and it helps the channel. If you got a little extra bucks, you want to donate it to the cause, hit the join button down below. For as little as $1 a month, you can
I'm looking at you, Squid Tard.
Yeah, why is he not a member? Why is Jerry Wells not a member? Why is Diaz 4570 not a member? Why is Shane
I'm seeing a lot of black names in the chat, seeing a lot of black names.
A lot of black names. We got to get a power T beside your name, and you'll be one of the click. We would appreciate it. But hey, no, in all seriousness, it's all good gags and jokes and fun. I do appreciate it. I could not do this thing without the members. I would not be able to do this full time if I didn't have those memberships. And so that's why we plug them, we promote them. We appreciate that support, but there's never any pressure. Like people say, Boogie, I'm sorry I couldn't do a super chat. I didn't have the money. And I'm like, bro, it's cool. If you don't have the money, don't send it to me. Save it and take care of you and your family. But if you got an extra buck, you want to do it, hit the join button down below. I would greatly appreciate it. But let's jump back into a little more Tony Basilio. We got about, what do we got? We got about 10 minutes left on this interview. I knew it was going to be a long, but I knew it was going to be a fun one. I think this has been a great show. Hope you guys are enjoying it. Let's hear a little bit more.
Fulmer a part of the hearing?
It's interesting. So he's telling people no. At least a few days ago. Would he fib, George? I mean, do you think football coaches would fib? I don't know. You guys tell me.
Well,
I'm just along for the ride over here. I think the answer is surely they've got to call him if it points back to him, don't they?
But is he not at a point where he's not going to be either a football coach or an AD in the future, where he could tell the NCAA, screw you, I have no reason to come to this witch hunt?
That's right. And they don't have subpoena power. But here's the thing. If Tennessee says to him, hey, we need you to go in there and say you didn't know anything, he has to do it, doesn't he, at that point?
Yeah, that's a different can of worms.
Right.
Got COVID.
Excuse me.
No, the allergies are bad, man.
God, if he had a mute button.
Here, there, and
it'd be
everywhere,
amazing.
George.
Oh, man, do we ever.
Here, there, and everywhere. Allergy season.
I have a mic.
Okay,
Yeah.
there it is.
I have a mic. I don't think it's on.
No, you're good. We got you.
No, you're good.
You know, this guy pops in every now and then. Very, very rarely. Had a great interview with BVD recently. Sports Talk, Jay, you want the link? I'll send you the link. You can come in and talk with us, buddy. You can jump right on here with me and X Factor and BVD. Come on the Talkin VAWLS Network and hang out, buddy.
Come on in, John.
Good to see you in the chat, my friend. Although I don't know, is he on Twitter? I don't know if he's on Twitter.
I don't know personally.
How'd you send him the link? Like through email?
Yes, email.
Sports Talk, Jay, we can do some business, brother. Send me a message. We'll come. We'll get together. We'll hang out. BVD speaks highly of you. You're on the grind, brother. You're on the grind. Let's
for sure.
Let's jump back into it. I just had to pause this because I saw Sports Talk Jay in the chat.
Hey, man. I'm hearing you loud.
Sorry about that.
You want to send it to Kelly?
Yeah.
No, I'm not hearing anything though.
Wait, Sports Talk Jay says I'm not. Email works. Shoot me your email. I'll shoot you the link real quick. Wow, we're gonna expand the show and get this. Things escalate quickly around here on the Talkin VAWLS Network. I hope he's comfortable putting his email in the chat. We'll derail it. How'd your interview go? What'd you think? We'll do a little plug for BVD. BVD had Sports Talk Jay on his channel not too long ago, and you guys had a great conversation. I listened to a lot of it. I was hanging out in my office, like doing some editing. I would think I was editing the highlight video that I put out recently, and I was listening to that interview. How'd that go? Give it a little plug.
Much as I suspected, it went great. It was his first time doing live anything, I think. And I tried to tell him it's really no different than doing a video. The only difference is people are watching as it happens, not after it happens. But I get it. I get it. Some people, it takes them a minute to get used to being live, and that's okay. The dude is very knowledgeable. If you watched any of his videos, you can see that. I don't know how much or how little he would want me to tell, but I'm not going to say anything that he hasn't said. He is a grad at UT. He was a captain of the golf team in the 80s. Very knowledgeable. It was a great interview, actually. It kind of ended up like this. It ended up being more of just a conversation than an interview. And that's the way I like for my interviews to go when I do people like JJ McCleskey. Same thing. Ended up just being a conversation. Very easy to talk to. Drop that email, Sports Talk.
Yeah, I'm waiting. Do you have it? Can you put it in the private chat?
Actually, I think I could probably send him the link.
Yeah, just send him the link that I sent you.
I'm pretty sure I'm not so stupid that I can't do that.
BVD. BVD's going to figure it out. Wayne says, "There's your golf buddy, Boogie." Yeah, I know, but me and AP had some fun talking golf, man. That was fun. Like, and I could tell that AP enjoyed that part of the show. Like when we got completely derailed and just started talking about golf. Sports Talk Jay says, "Send me the link. I need your email address, bro." You got it. You got it taken care of, BVD.
Yeah, I got it right here.
Okay, cool. It's coming your way, Sports Talk Jay.
It happened in a millisecond.
Bounce in and we'll hang out. Be good.
This should be it right here. I just copied the link you sent and sent it to him.
That's all you gotta do.
There's 8 million blue letters. So
well, let's do this real quick while we're waiting on Sports Talk Jay. We'll get his opinion on this whole shenanigans. Although, man, I put this stream together and people are commenting saying Sports Talk Jay already covered this. I'm like, good Lord, man, I'm sorry. I'm doing the best I can. While we're waiting on Sports Talk Jay, guys, go check out the merchandise. You can go to bonfire.com/store/Talkin VAWLS. We got all kinds of fun merchandise. Look, we don't get political, but sometimes you need to. We got a big election coming up in 2024, and there's only one vote. And the name is Boogie and Dauber in 2024. That's a great shirt. We got the business as usual scoreboard shirt. Tennessee beating Alabama. Vols by 50. That's a hot topic. You guys go check that out. Number one seller. Not really. It doesn't sell the most. Buck Famous sold the most. But State Pride, that's a great shirt. I love that shirt. Clean logo. We got mustard themed. All kinds of fun merch. Again, go check it out. bonfire.com/store/Talkin VAWLS. The link is in the description below. Go check it out. We appreciate you guys. I hope you guys show up wearing Talkin VAWLS merch on Saturday at the Orange and White game. Everybody, look here's what, full transparency. Here's what happened. Dauber sent me a text today and said, "Boogie, I know you drink PBR. I got a ton of it because my brother-in-law, somebody hooked him up. He's got a bunch of PBR that he doesn't drink. Do you want it?" And I was like, dude, I hardly ever drink beer. Like hardly ever. Like I'll drink it at the Orange and White game. I drink it on game day occasionally. I don't drink a whole lot of beer. And it's like, bring it to the tailgate and give it away to people. And he's like, okay. So maybe if you show up in a Talkin VAWLS shirt, you can have a free PBR courtesy of Dauber. And I'm just making that up. I don't know if that's true or not. I just
Dauber sounds like he's about to go out and buy a keg.
Yeah. No, it really legitimately sounds like he's got a ton of it. Angry Titan says, "I've got 3 of the T-shirts. Love them. I'm wearing one right now. Beat Bama. I love this shirt." X, what are you wearing? What are you wearing, bro?
I'm about to say it's your favorite. Ninja. It's your favorite ninja. Well, I said, and that's the conversation we're gonna have riding down to the Orange and White game. I might have to school you a little bit on some anime, and then we're gonna have the conversation with the ninja versus Batman.
Oh, hey, okay. Wayne. I know I mentioned this to you the other night in the stream in here. You don't got to feel comfy. We will make you feel comfy. I will push you myself, bro. If you
I'll tell Wayne too. I'll tell Wayne too. I was telling Xavier right before we went live. Everybody bailed on me. Like my car is me and X. That's it. Nobody else is going to be in my car. So we got a spot. So if you want to email me, Wayne, and we'll add you. I see you guys saying pancakes and bacon. I've talked to Kyler a couple of times, had a phone call with Reed. They know I'm willing to collaborate, so we'll see what happens. Sports Talk Jay, what is up, my man? Welcome to the channel, bro.
There he is.
Hey, guys.
Hey.
What's going on?
What's going on, buddy?
I need some light. Let me turn on a little bit of light here.
You got all kinds of light going on behind you.
Yeah.
Man, look at that. He's got fireworks. We got fireworks. It's a show. It is a show.
Hey,
I usually wear my Vol shirt, but I figured, what the heck? I was watching y'all show. I was really enjoying it. And Big Vol Daddy, I enjoyed being interviewed by him the other day. I thought, what the heck? I actually started this YouTube thing watching Boogie Bentley. I'll go ahead and tell you, I was watching every one of his videos. And that's what really got me so interested in YouTube, even though I'm a huge Vols fan, obviously. But that's what kind of really got me interested in doing my own YouTube channel for the Vols, because I just really enjoyed the Talkin VAWLS show.
So there's your answer, Boogie, to the question you asked me at lunch.
It's interesting because I had lunch with BVD and I was like, so what's the deal with Sports Talk Jay? Like I listened to your all's interview and I was like, it was a good interview, man. I enjoyed it. But you talked about like financial stuff. So like, were you doing that before, or were you watching Talkin VAWLS and you were like, I'm going to try to do financial stuff and then change it? Like,
No.
How did you end up where you got on YouTube? Because you're killing it, man. You're following all the rules that you need to follow on YouTube.
I was doing like stocks and talking a little bit of financial stuff during the pandemic because I didn't have, you couldn't do much during all that. And I started doing that a little bit, and it got kind of rough. The economy did. And I started just telling folks, look, it's not looking good. And I was also wanting to do the Vols. So I started doing a few videos, putting the Vols on my finance channel thing that I had. And people didn't like that. That kind of annoyed them. And they didn't like me talking down the economy because I saw them printing all this money. And I'm not going to go into a whole lot of crap on that, but I could just tell it was going to be a problem. And it just, they didn't want to hear it. So I started focusing on the Vols, and I thought, well, I better do a separate channel because it's annoying my viewers. And I just started really enjoying it. And like I said, I started watching Talkin VAWLS. I'll be the first to tell you, I watched it every day. And I thought, man, he looks like he's having a good time. And he knows, his knowledge is similar to mine. I mean, I've grown up watching it my whole life. And I just thought, you know what? I'm going to try this and see how it goes. And I wasn't getting a whole lot of viewers, but I was enjoying it. And I thought, this really isn't like a job, even though I spent a lot of time on it. So I was like, and then it just kind of morphed into a channel, so to speak, as an experiment, really. But I'll be the first to tell you, I watched every single Talkin VAWLS show for 6 months, maybe a year. Honestly, I don't know. I didn't know Big Vol Daddy at all. I didn't know he's from Greenville. I had no idea.
Yeah, that was a trip finding that out.
Yeah, he's from the same hometown as me, and nobody reached out to me, and I wasn't about to reach out to you guys because I thought you'd be like, well, this a-hole thinks he's going to walk in here to our,
Dude.
I just felt like y'all wouldn't appreciate it at all.
That's not my vibe, man. Like, I want to build a community, and there's enough. Like, I talked about this last night on the live stream. Me and X did a live stream with Charlie Burris from A to Z Sports. And it's like, our fan base is going here, there, and they're watching everything. They're watching me. They're watching you. They're watching BVD. They're watching A to Z Sports. They're watching VolQuest. They cannot consume enough content. And but you never know what people want. Like, when people come to you, like, oh, I want can I come on your channel? So I get where you're coming from, but it's like, and I'm kind of the same thing. I'm like, BVD, what's going on with Sports Talk Jay? Like, what's his deal? How did it go? What was the vibe off air versus on air? And he's like, dude, he's a good person. I'm like, well, let's roll, man. Let's roll. You're welcome here. Let's build a freaking community. It's the same thing with BVD coming on. We're going to do a Monday stream every freaking Monday in the season. And it's like, the idea is, come watch my channel, go sub to BVD, go sub to Sports Talk Jay, go bounce around, man. Let's build a community of regular dudes. Like you said, Sports Talk Jay, I'm just a regular dude. I don't know anything any more than anybody in the chat or anybody on this panel. Like, I'm just a regular dude watching Tennessee sports. But I think people appreciate that from us because we openly admit it, right? We're just regular dudes. We just enjoy Tennessee football. They enjoy that fan perspective, man. They enjoy that transparency, that honesty of, I'm just a fan. That's it.
Yeah, because Jay, it was the same thing with me because, see, I was one of the listeners that just hopped onto a fan calling show. And, I was just basing off my opinion of, all the articles I've been reading about and, going into the season when, we still had Hendon Hooker and stuff. So I just hopped on here and then, just talking. And then it's funny. And then, like, after the show, Boogie reaches out to me and he was like, man, he says, you kind of got something. And I was just like, man, I'm just a regular guy. Like I said, I love my Vols. I'm also a Titans fan. I watch my Titans. And like I said, I also love watching basketball. I just love sports, man. Like, I'm just a guy that I just love having a good sports conversation. And then Boogie was like, well, you want to hop on and, do some shows with me? And here I am. So
I got a question for John real quick and pushing it back to the original topic. I haven't seen your video yet today. What are your thoughts on what we've been talking about here tonight? What are Sports Talk Jay's personal thoughts on a bowl ban? Do you think it's possible? Do you think it's going to happen? What do you see from your perspective?
Actually, I watched that Tony Basilio video last night, it concerned me a little bit, honestly, because I've known Tony partially since the 90s, because he actually did some ads for me at River Islands Golf Club that I used to run back in the early 90s. And I know he knows what he's talking about.
Yep.
So that concerned me right off the bat. And then I thought, man, they've got this rule where they're not supposed to punish the student athletes for the sins of the past, especially for the coaching staff. And I'm going, well, if you do a bowl ban, that's a direct punishment for student athletes today. Mm-hmm. And as a former student athlete myself, that would irritate me to no end. That would anger me greatly, especially with them having a bylaw like that. So that I didn't like that at all. And I don't think it's fair, given the fact that the Vols or the UT cooperated fully, 100% with the NCAA, brought the evidence, handed it to them, said, here you go. Then they self-imposed scholarship reductions and restrictions on their recruiting. And I'm sitting here going, this is ridiculous that now they're talking about we're going to punish you additionally just so we can almost like make an example out of you. That would be crazy to me. Because if you do that, you're sending the message out to every college, every university, don't cooperate with us because we're still going to hammer you in some way. So what's the point? So that's how I see it. Although like I said, Tony Basilio's no dummy.
It goes back to he has connections, right? He's got connections inside the school. He's got connections with people in the know. So and again, he's polarizing, man. People love him and hate him. So I get it. I get it. But I've been pushing this whole conversation. I made one video recently about the NCAA investigation, and I think it was the day after you did Sports Talk, Jay. It's like, he already killed it, and my video went to die. It was like nobody watched it. But I was never really concerned. I was never really concerned until I listened to this interview, and I'm like, I'm starting to get concerned that the NCAA is going to try to make an example out of Tennessee. But it goes back to the conversation I had with AP, and it's like, why would anybody moving forward cooperate with the NCAA if you bury Tennessee when they did everything right? They gave you all the access. They gave you everything you wanted. They fired everybody. All the players are gone. Why would anybody, BVD, cooperate with the NCAA at this point? Why?
They wouldn't. That's the whole thing. This would be it would be akin to some form of NCAA suicide. But at this point, do they really care?
Because they're already off the ledge.
That's what
they may already
me.
be falling. They're not even on the ledge. They're falling.
Yeah, that's the main thing right there that scares me and has me concerned. Is like Basilio said in that interview. So what?
Yeah, like why? Like who cares? Well, like who cares? All right, we got 250 people watching live. Appreciate you guys hanging out. Smash the thumbs up, dude. This is what I want my YouTube channel to be: collaboration. Content creators, support us all. Go subscribe to Sports Talk Jay. Drops videos basically every day. He's doing everything right, dropping videos every day, and he does way more work than I do. My videos take about an hour. His take probably 5 or 6 hours. I don't know. He spends way more time editing than I do. BVD is getting back in the game. We're going to do the Monday streams every Monday morning. I'm going to hit up Sports Talk Jay. I'm definitely getting his email. We're going to find a way to collaborate. The X Factor, that's my right-hand man. He ain't going to create a channel. He ain't going to sell out. He's going to be right here on the Talkin VAWLS Network all the time. But guys, smash the thumbs up. Support all these dudes. Go subscribe to Sports Talk Jay. Go subscribe to BVD. This is what I want, man. This is a community. There's room for all of us, man. There's room for all of us to make money and succeed on Tennessee YouTube. So let's hear a little bit more from this Tony Basilio interview. We got about 8 minutes or so left. Sports Talk Jay, you just popped in. If you want me to pause it at any point, just yell out, I'll pause it. You can chime in, but let's hear more here.
That's the reason I'm asking what I'm asking. So let me try this. Yeah, now I can hear. Tony, so at this point, if Pruitt were to go in and say, look, who's kidding who? They knew, they approved, they were part of this, then what?
Great question. and I can't answer that. I'm not with the NCAA. Great question. If that occurs, then it's going to be Tennessee's word against his. The problem Pruitt has is he was such a stupid, sloppy cheater. I mean, George, at the end of the day, that is forever going to be a laughing stock in a world full of jokers. I mean, let's face it here. You ever heard of a guy getting his babysitter and his wife implicated in NCAA cheating? I mean, next thing what's the next thing you're going to tell me? He was, I don't know, like on the side of the road paying players in front of like NCAA agents or the.
Wait a second. Is that the babysitter? Is that why we transitioned to that photo? Is that the babysitter? I'm asking for a friend. I'm just curious.
Yeah, I'm waiting on an answer for a friend too.
That is interesting. Why did they flip to that photo? Sorry. That derailed me when they flipped. That's not Pruitt's wife, is it?
I don't think it is.
She's
No.
awful young to be his wife.
That is weird. If the babysitter,
Scott Bennett says wife. That is his wife.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah, even Wayne said wife.
Yeah, Wayne says wife. Scott says wife. Interesting, man.
Wow,
that is interesting.
Wow.
Sports Talk Jay. Like I know this is off topic, but I want to kind of recycle a question that we were talking about earlier. What do you think about Coach Fulmer and his involvement in this? Do you think he knew what was going on? Do you think it's interesting that Pruitt gets fired without cause, and then Phil Fulmer just kind of gets almost that royal treatment, right? It's here's your press box, here's your retirement, here's your money. He shows up at the press conference actually where Pruitt gets fired. Like, what do you think about all that?
I think he didn't have a clue. And the reason I think that is that, first of all, he was brought in during that turbulent time where the AD got fired on the plane coming back from Washington, as I recall.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think he was put in as kind of a figurehead. You know, he was a popular, very, successful coach at UT.
Peacemaker almost.
Dude, I was excited when they brought him in. I'm like, all right, we're getting things back where they belong.
I was too. And the reality is he really was not qualified to be an athletic director because that's a management position that's very different than being a head coach. But we needed a figurehead. And everybody, has a positive opinion of him for the most part. I know some people don't, but for the most part. So I thought it was a good move. And I think he got into a bad situation to where he wound up having to hire the best available remaining.
Mm-hmm.
And that was, if you'll remember, so many coaches had turned down that job that it was, you were getting down to the bottom of the barrel. And Pruitt had the best resume you could imagine. He'd been the number one best defensive, mind for the last 10 years at Florida State, Georgia, and now at Alabama. And he looked great on paper. But when you interview him, that's why he never got a head coaching job, because he's not good in an interview. He's not. And just it's his speech pattern. It's the way he thinks, all of that. And I don't think Fulmer had a clue. I think Fulmer's basically was a figurehead that had gone around, and he just wanted to protect his image as the national champion, winningest coach that had ever been at UT. And how could he have known about you think he would have okayed a $3,000 payment to somebody? I just don't see that in any possible realm. So that's my opinion on it.
Right. And then, Jay, it's like what I said earlier, too. Fulmer was even kind of questioning the hire because, like you said, I mean, he dominated Alabama back in those glory days, So yeah, I mean, I just find that very interesting, too. But, yeah, it's just Pruitt, man. He was just like I said, just a wolf in sheep's clothing. That's just all he was. Let me
hit these super chats. I don't even remember if I already hit those because I got derailed when Sports Talk Jay popped up in the chat. Ron the Don for 10. Thank you for super chat. Can I still drop my entry fee? I'm late. Oh Lord, I'm late. Way to go, X Factor. Thank you, Ron the Don, for the $10. Hey, you can drop an entry fee an hour and a half in. I got no problem. You want to drop an entry fee? Do it now. Do it early.
Door fee's a door fee, right?
Yeah, do it twice. You want to drop 2 entry fees? Do it twice. John Hill for 5 says, welcome to the Talkin VAWLS. Sports Talk J. Appreciate that super chat, John. Brian Chadman becomes a member of the channel. Thank you, Brian. We're on that membership drive. Let me see. Where are we at now? We are down to 12 members. Can we get 12 memberships as we wrap up the show? I don't know. We'll see what happens. We're 12 memberships away from giving away for some free merch. Look, I'm on that grind, man. We got to get those memberships back up where they belong. I was feeling great during the season. Then they drop off in the off season. And Boogie gets a little nervous, but all is great, man. I'm having a good time hanging out with my buddies. I'm glad Sports Talk Jay, man. I'm so glad you popped in the chat. Like, I was glad you popped in the chat. We did a charity stream and you popped in the chat briefly, but otherwise you've been kind of quiet. And you're on my radar, bro. Like, I know what you're doing. Everything going on in Tennessee sports on YouTube. I know what's going on, and you're doing great, man. You're killing the game. And I'm like,
he's on everybody's radar, Boogie.
But it's one of those deals. It's like, am I supposed to reach out to him? Is he going to reach out to me? Like, what's the deal? And we've never collaborated. And then when you went on BVD's channel, I was like, all right, we're going to eventually collaborate. Squiptar becomes a member. There you go, BVD.
There you go, Squid. Way to go.
One of yours is in the house. Appreciate that, Squiptar. Scott Bennett for 5 says covered shark. Thank you, Scott. We appreciate that, buddy. Thank you for the $5. Wayne Stars for $20 says great show tonight. Need a t-shirt. Wayne, I think I've sent you every t-shirt that I own. I think you've gotten more free t-shirts than anybody, but we're what I say? 12 memberships away. 12 more memberships, just $1, just 99 cents a month. I would greatly appreciate it. If not, that's cool. Smash the thumbs up, share the link. You guys know that's quick, free, and easy. Let's jump back into Tony Basilio's comments.
Somewhere in this interview, Boogie, I'm almost positive Basilio says Boogie BBD needs a t-shirt. I'm just saying.
I will send you one for free.
That might be in here.
I'll send you one for free, bro. Do I have your address? I don't know if I have your address. Message me your address on Facebook.
I will.
Tell me your size. Tell me what you want. I'll send you a free shirt. I got no problem sending you one. I will support you because I know you'll wear it on your channel, and that's free advertising. I would appreciate that. Wayne says, I've won them, Boogie. Sometimes, yeah, Wayne, you won it. You wink, wink, you won it. All right, let's hear more from Tony Basilio.
Presser. I mean, what did this guy do? You know what I mean?
Well,
it's got to be his wife.
Let me try it.
That's okay. Well, I missed the pause. I missed the pause there. It has to be his wife because look at that right there. That's his wife, right?
Yeah, that's his
Gosh,
wife.
she looks so much younger than him. Why am I distracted by this? Let's get back on track.
You know what I mean?
Let me try it.
When you're using your babysitter, George, when you're using your babysitter to drop money on players, isn't that getting a little too close to the flame? I mean, you don't think she's going to walk around and go, God, hey, I know Jeremy. You do? You know Jeremy Pro? Oh, man. In fact, you see that guy out there? I gave him $10,000, like whatever the money is, whatever it was. I paid him. Some 22-year-old girl. I mean, what in the world are we doing here, Jeremy Pruitt?
Tony,
that's what we're talking about, and only at Tennessee does that go on. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. Up there, is there a belief that they should have at least paid him some of the money to ensure that what would not come out is the university knew, he knew, they knew who's kidding who?
No. I think, first of all, fans were starting to refer to this place as Buyout U. Because there were so many people on the payroll at one point from buyouts that there was such a fatigue around it that most Tennessee fans at the time were in lockstep agreement that you don't give the guy a dime.
I want to throw this back to Sports Talk Jay because he wasn't on earlier when we kind of talked about this same point. Jay, do you think that's part of it? Like, they were trying to fire Pruitt with cause to avoid that buyout because of all that negativity of you're still paying Butch, you paid Derek Dooley how much, and it's like we cannot pay another buyout. So let's almost risk burying the program to fire Jeremy Pruitt with cause.
Oh, that's a definite possibility. He had a good year. They might. I don't know if they'd have stuck by him, but they wouldn't have thrown him to the wolves so quickly.
Right.
But winning 3 games and you could just tell he'd lost the team. That's my opinion. I think he lost the team, and 3-7, that's just beyond unacceptable. And I know that's all SEC games. I get that, but that's still beyond unacceptable. And I think it was all of it. It was, let's get rid of somebody that won 3 games. He's clearly done these sloppy things. And I think they just said, let's just wash our hands of it.
I mean, yeah, Sports Talk Jay, when you lose to BYU and you lose to Georgia State, yeah. Yeah, let's get rid of him. Yeah. I mean, and we can all agree, because I said, look, that was just the most depressing era of just Tennessee football. The very most depressing era of it. I mean, even going back to, discovering Boogie's channel back then in the Pruitt era. And it's funny because I told him, I said, yes, I went back and, listened to, it was him and it was Dauber and JP was doing the video, and they sounded depressed.
Dude, the Georgia State video, one of the worst live streams we've ever done. JP didn't want to do it. He said he wasn't coming on air. I was like, dude, we advertised the post-game show. We got to go on air. But the weird thing is that Pruitt caught fire, right? That season. He caught fire the back half of that season. He won like 7 in a row, and then went on to win the bowl game against Indiana. And then you go into the COVID year, and it's like you said, Sports Talk, Jay, it's an all SEC schedule. But if Pruitt goes 7-3, he's probably still the football coach at Tennessee.
I agree with that. I think he would have been too. I think it was his losing, and then it was very convenient. Well, look, he's the one that did it. He's the one that put the money out there. And as a human being, I understand it. If somebody paid me $12 million over 3 years and I saw people suffering, that would be a struggle for me, especially when the reason I'm getting $12 million is because of what they're doing and what their kids are doing for me. And I see them, they got medical bills and they can't buy a car. They can't get a down payment on a car because they can't. Man, that would be very hard to sleep at night with that kind of money coming in. And those kids are out there, risking a lot. I know people don't realize that they think they're indestructible. They are human beings that are young, and they don't understand the risk they're taking. And those concussions, back in my day, let me tell you what those were called. Those were called getting dinged, or getting, that kind of stuff, or getting your bell rung.
Yep.
You know what getting your bell rung is? It's a concussion.
Yep.
It's a very serious thing. I mean, I remember it well in the 80s. Oh, just shake it off. You got his bell rung. You got
are you injured?
Yeah, kind of
exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's like, well, my brain, and they don't know. They're in high school. They're 16. They definitely don't know. 18 or 19 is not much different as far as being mature. You don't know, man. You don't know what 50 is. That seems like forever from now. As somebody over 50, it's very real.
We sound like a bunch of old dudes. It's like
I am.
No. All of us except for maybe Xavier. But it's like, when did you really know who you were? Right? I'm still trying to figure out who I am, and I'm 41 years old, and it's like, in my early 20s. Are you kidding me? But like you said, Jay, it's like you got your bell rung. And as an early kid, I dipped my toe into the pro wrestling world, and it's like, it was almost funny when you had a concussion. It's like, oh, well, you just shake it off and you go wrestle next weekend. It's fine. And it's like, no, man, we're talking about CTE and MMA and boxing and NFL players and what they're dealing with. Like, it's a real thing. But, back then, it's like you said, it's, you got your bell rung. You got your bell rung.
And just real quick, I just want to add on to that. That's why now with the NIL program that's happened, that's why I'm really happy that these players are getting paid off of likeness, because you got to think, like, they're risking their lives, like Jay said. And what happens if they do get a concussion, or better yet, like, look what's happening to Hendon Hooker that just happened this last season. He's going through rehab. He's doing everything he needs to do to get back into football shape. But how much of that is due to help for his NIL money?
Get paid, man. That's why I don't have a problem with anybody leaving college football early to go to the NFL. Go make your money. College will always be waiting. You sign that first NFL contract, you can come back to college at any time and make all the money you need to make, and you can go get your degree, and you're going to be fine. Let's we got about 5 minutes left on this Tony Basilio interview. Let's wrap this thing up. I told you guys it's going to be a long one. We're almost to 2 hours, and we still got 250 people watching. So we appreciate you guys bearing with us, hanging out. I told you guys it was going to be a good one. It wasn't clickbait. It's a real possibility. Let's listen to these last 5 minutes. We'll wrap this thing up.
Yeah, where's that Noble Gamer guy now?
He just came in to tell me I was an idiot. And then the John guy wanted to fist fight me. He's gone. I banned him, actually. I banned him. He's banned for life. But I don't know, man. BVD, you think I'm going to be in a fist fight on Saturday? I don't know.
My money's on no.
Maybe until they show up and they see that I'm a big fat gorilla, and then they leave.
Well, you guys saw the picture of me and Boogie together, and I'm 6'5", so you see how much bigger he was.
I'm only 7'3". I'm only 7'3", BVD. The thing is, like, you know, I love jiu-jitsu. I love training and grappling, and I love boxing. And it's like, it's for small people. But I'm a big fat gorilla, and I know a little something about breaking your arm and choking you out. So come hang out at G10 on Saturday. We'll be there live around 10:30, 11 o'clock. It'll be a good time. You can come hang out. You can come drink a beer with Boogie, or you can come fist fight Boogie. I don't know. We'll see what happens. It's interesting because I feel like the challenge is out there. I feel like maybe I shouldn't make jokes about it because somebody really wants to come fight a 41-year-old man. That's not what I'm here for. Let's have some fun. Let's talk Tennessee football. Let's wrap up this thing with Tony Basilio.
Especially when he risked the brand, the skull, the whole deal, the way that he did, and put it at such odds. The guy was just reckless and silly. And so, short answer, no. Now, today, hindsight's always 20/20. Are there people out there saying that? I haven't heard any, but I'm sure, George, there are some. But no, working in public opinion as I do, that is not a sentiment I come across.
Okay, I feel like I've asked everything that's the off the field, the infractions meetings. Kelly, I know you've got some football stuff. Fire away.
I do, but I was going to ask Tony about this. Let's go back to this one thing, because he said that the NCAA might crack down on them and take them away from, postseason appearances. What does that do anything to recruiting, or are we into a spot now in college football where kids, it doesn't really matter to kids if they're getting the NIL money or if they're getting
this is good.
Things.
This is
does
really
it really
good,
matter
man.
to kids if you get, say a bowl ban or say things taken away? Does that really have an effect on the kids that you're recruiting? Do you think that has an effect?
Kelly, my sense of that is kids today care about how much money they're going to make and how much exposure I get for the next level and what kind of coaching I'm going to get because I want to play professional football at these SEC schools. And so from that perspective, I don't know that it has a tremendous impact.
Yeah.
The second part of the equation, Kelly, is that say the NCAA comes to Tennessee and they say, we want 20 scholarships. See, this is the thing George was talking about before. People have lost their teeth. Because if you go to a school now and you say, hey, I want 30 of your scholarships, and you're Tennessee and you've got a war chest of, I don't know, $16 million, whatever the number is, you can go out and buy whomever you want. I mean, I just pay you an extra $40,000 to go to school. We call you a walk-on.
That is such a huge point when it comes to scholarship reductions. And that's why I think the NCAA is really going to push for a bowl ban, because go back to the class of 2022. Jackson Hanna transfers from Nebraska to Tennessee. He was a 3-star prospect coming out of high school. Everybody's like, well, this is weird. Why is Jackson Hanna coming here as a walk-on? Charlie Browder, 3-star prospect, transfers from Central Florida to Tennessee as a walk-on. Navy Schuler, 3-star prospect, App State to Tennessee, 3-star prospect, comes as a walk-on. Those guys, wink, wink, Boogie, are you making this up? Wink, wink. Those guys were not walk-ons. They were paid through NIL as scholarship players, even though under disguise to the NCAA, they're walk-ons. So, BBD, you hear that from Tony Basilio. Why does it matter? Who freaking cares about scholarship reductions when we can pay a kid $100,000 and we can pay for all of his school, and we'll just call it an NIL deal and we'll call him a walk-on?
I'll be honest with you, hadn't listened to this part of the interview yet, and that never really crossed my mind. Again, I've said this countless times on my channel. I'm not the guy that reads articles every day about college recruits and Tennessee recruits and all that stuff like I used to be when I was, say, your age, Boogie, or your age, X Factor. So that thought honestly never crossed my mind. Now, Navy Schuler, to me, he's an exception. He's got that last name. We know he ain't paying to go to school at UT. I mean, let's just be real. But yeah, with the NIL money like it is now, could be one of those old Arsenio Hall things that make you go,
Yeah.
So anybody, I guess, now could be a walk on and not really be worried about it because they know it's going to be taken care of with NIL money. And how much now that we're talking about it, how much does a bowl ban affect a guy? I'm not going to use Nico because obviously not everybody gets the kind of NIL money he's got. But how much does a bowl ban is it really going to affect a kid that is primarily looking at the next level? He's been told all his life, you got a great shot at being an NFL player if you do all the right things, say all the right things, and get all the right coaching. And half of these kids that are going to the next level, they're opting out of bowl games anyway.
Yes, that's a huge point, Jay. Jay, that's a huge point. You got kids opting out of bowl games. Does anybody really care about a bowl game when they're opting out?
He's asking you, Jay.
Oh, I'm sorry. He said Jay. Yeah, I would care. I would care as a player, but I see your point completely. It totally depends on whether or not you're going to be in that Final Four. If you're in the playoff, it matters a lot. If it's a bowl game, no, I wouldn't care about it at all. But, we were so close to getting into the playoff last year. I don't know what's going to happen with this team. I mean, could it happen in 2023? I think we're set up for 2024 the best.
Yep.
With Nico his second year, the defense will have another year of development and bringing in more big dogs, which we need. We were so weak on defense. I mean, it was amazing that we won 7 games. Heupel's first year, it was totally done with smoke and mirrors and the offense. Then we go into the next year, and Hendon Hooker just, oh my gosh, he just goes off. And just like he did the first year, now the defense is starting to catch up, and the defensive line kind of kept us in there while the defensive backfield was pretty tragic. And I'm just sitting here going, man, I don't know about 2023. If we're going to go to some crappy bowl, I can kind of care less. But do we have a chance of getting in the playoff, and that's taken from us? And will that affect your recruiting? That's the other big deal, because we're going after so many 5-stars, but they're going to be freshmen. What I would do if I'm the Vols, I would take the scholarship reduction, an additional 12 or whatever it's going to be, because that's no big deal because we have the money. With NIL, who cares? If it's a bowl ban, I'd sue them.
That's what's coming. That's what's coming. And it goes back to the conversation I had with AP a couple of weeks ago. If this thing goes towards a bowl ban, postseason ban, Tennessee's going to sue. And this thing's going to drag out even further. So I don't even know if it's going to matter in 2023. I don't know if this thing's going to be wrapped up, because they're saying that after the court case next week, it's going to be several months before we even hear what the outcome of the court case is. So if the outcome of the court case is, well, Tennessee's got to serve a postseason ban, and then Tennessee says, no, we're going to sue you in federal court because we did our due diligence, then how much longer does it drag out from there? I have no idea.
Well, Boogie,
I think is safe. I think we're safe.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, I think 2023 we're safe. But Boog, I don't know. It might have to take us winning a national championship for them to look at us and be like, okay, we'll drop the case. We'll drop it.
Yeah, because
I
what
don't know.
happens when Tennessee's in the SEC championship? You're going to ban them from the SEC championship? Are you going to tell me that Tennessee beats Georgia? Let's say it happens in 2023. Tennessee beats Georgia. Tennessee's on the way to Atlanta, and they're going to say, nope, 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 no, we're going to penalize Tennessee. Georgia's going to slide in, and they're going to play. Like, everybody's going to be like, what a joke. Like, nobody's going to care about that. They're going to
Can
say,
they
yeah, here's
even
your big
do that
asterisk.
that late in the year? They can't. I mean, I guess they can do anything they conceivably want to, but would they even do that late in the year? I'm thinking, hell no.
But, well, can Tennessee just respond and say, screw you? Like, we're going to do what we want to do. We're going to play in it. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Because the NCAA is on the way out. So, like, how much power does Tennessee have to just say, screw you? Like, so all these teams that have faced, you know, these NCAA violations have basically said, screw you. We're going to do whatever we want to do. And nothing happens. It just keeps, like, it's like, what? And then Tennessee, it's like you said, BVD, in your video, it's like typical Tennessee. It's like we try to do what's right. And then now we're going down this road of here we go again. Here we go again.
But like I said, but Nick Saban can complain about the NIL deal and the portal and everything's going on. Talking about like, oh, well, you guys need to fix this. And then also going back to when Kenny Pickett was playing at Pitt, you're going to fix his fake slide move. You're going to fix that. And then also going to Lane Kiffin, you know, with the fainting goats. You're not going to, you know what I'm saying? It's a big complaint about that. But yeah, you're going to be like, no, we're not going to do nothing about that. It's a joke, man. It's a joke.
Here's one big danger for the NCAA. Let's say they decide to hammer us with bowl ban or whatever. What if we win in a lawsuit against the NCAA? What fangs do they have then? What clause do they have at that point? We have defanged them if that happens. And we're cooperating. We're cooperating.
Then they're done. At that point, they have no more recourse, legal or otherwise. I wouldn't think.
It's a huge risk for the NCAA to go after us, in my opinion, because they already lost the NIL deal in California. If they lose in federal court against us, I'm just saying, be careful what you wish for, NCAA.
I think they know.
You got a cooperative college.
I think they know they're on the way out. I really do. I think they know that they're done. Let me jam through a couple more super chats here. Robert Thomas drops a $5 super sticker. We appreciate that, my man. Steve Fowler for $2. What's the bottom line on this bowl ban? What's the bottom line?
The bottom line is we don't know.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah.
We don't know.
I don't know how else you would answer that.
That's why the subject of this video is Tennessee facing postseason ban ? Because we don't know. We're still waiting to see how this thing ends up. Rodney Emmert becomes a member of the channel. Appreciate the support, my brother. We got to get those memberships rolling in, guys. Join the channel. It's $1 a month. We would greatly appreciate it. Ron the Don for $5. I want to backdoor into the playoffs 2023 and win the Natty and in 2024 back-to-back. Thank you for the super chat, Ron the Don. Appreciate the support, guys. We're going to wrap this thing up almost 2 hours in. I told you guys it was going to be a long one. And then I didn't know Sports Talk Jay was going to pop in the chat. That was a lot of fun, man. Like I said, I love collaboration. I love anybody that's on the hustle, on the grind. BVD knows that. I support the little man, the guys that are, whether you're working a 9 to 5 or you're just a regular dude, I support that type of person. I told BVD this when we were having lunch. I was like, man, I'm doing so many big things with so many big people. And it's like, I really want to focus on people that are like-minded. And this was a great stream, man. If we can do more streams like this with me, BVD, Sports Talk Jay, content creators, of course, Xavier's my wingman. He's always going to be here. This makes for great YouTube. And I think the chat really digs it. Wayne for $20. Nobody's going to know for a couple of years, it seems. I think that's the way we wrap this stream up. Like, we're going into a court case next week. We're not going to get a resolution for 3 to 4 months. Maybe. We'll see. And then after that, it's like, if it's against Tennessee, it's going to be a lawsuit, and it's going to continue to drag out. But we appreciate you guys hanging out. You guys have been very generous tonight. Smash the thumbs up on the way out the door. If you guys are following us on Twitter, every time you see a video, a live stream, whatever, retweet it, like it. Well, let's play that algorithm game. We would greatly appreciate it. Go sub up Big Vol Daddy. Like I said, coming up this fall, we're going to do one on Monday after the Orange and White game. BVD and Boogie in the morning. We're going to recap what we saw in the Orange and White game. Then once we get closer to fall. We're gonna start every Monday morning. We're gonna do a live stream. Also, go check out Sports Talk Jay. He is doing the Lord's work, driving videos like a mother, like all the time. All the time, Sports Talk Jay, always popping up in my recommends, always in my feed. People always talking about it. Go give him a sub because he's no different than me and BBD, just a regular dude. Although he did play a little golf at Tennessee, so maybe show him a little bit more love.
Diploma. He got that UT diploma.
Some people think that makes you more important than me and BBD.
Right.
So maybe it does.
It does not. It does not.
It might gain you one or two.
I played golf. I played golf. I was not a football player.
But I love golf. I had Austin Price on the channel, and I would much rather talk golf with him. And it's like people in the chat are like, okay, this is talking golf. This is getting boring. Can you guys get back to Tennessee football? But to play golf at Tennessee is a different level than where I play golf. Like I'm a mid-'80s golfer, so I respect what you guys do. The D1 level, and to take it to another level, like the PGA. I say all the time, I don't think people understand what a legitimate pro golfer can do with a golf ball. I don't think they grasp it. Like the casual dude, it's like, let me get this on the green and 2-putt for par and I'll be happy. But what pro golfer, I respect the game. I'm just never going to put the work in to be a great. Look, I'm 41 and I've been playing since I'm 15.
Say the same thing for college golfers, Boogie. You got to be, you got to be the best your high school has to offer to be a low-level college golfer.
Yep.
So to be a golfer at an SEC school, hey, good on you, Jay.
I was middle of the road, guys. I wasn't like.
Nah, you're from Greenville, bro. You're
bottom of the bottom is the top of the top. Like you're like
that's my.
You're
guy
the 1%.
right there.
You're the 1%. You're the 1%. All right, we're going to wrap this thing up. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Like I said, go sub up BVD, go sub up Sports Talk Jay. Come hang out with us right here on the Talkin VAWLS Network. For the X Factor, for BVD, for Sports Talk Jay, my name is Boogie Bentley. This is the Talkin VAWLS Network. I only got one thing left to say, and that is go big orange.
That we call